morning, student. Today we are going to see about the general pharmacology. We'll start with the general pharmacology. In that, we are going to see what is pharmacology, definition of the pharmacology, and the historical landmarks of the pharmacology and the scope of pharmacology. Firstly, we will define what is pharmacology. Now, scientifically, the study of substance that interact with the living system. It's a study of substance means drug. It is a study of drug that interact with the living system through the chemical processes, especially binding to the regulatory molecules like receptors, and activate or inhibiting a normal body processes. Okay, means in short, the meaning of this definition is any substance or the any drug which is act on the living system through the some chemical mediators and the activate or inhibit the normal physiology of the body, that is called as a pharmacology. Now in simple term, we can separate this word pharmacology as a pharmacon means the drug, and logos means the study, means to study the drug is called as a pharmacology. It's a science that deals with the drug. Now 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 you should able to differentiate between the drug and the medicine. You should know what is the drug and what is the medicine. Now in simple terms, the drug is any chemical agent which is used in a human for the treatment, prevention and the diagnosis, that is called as a drug. Now what is the medicine? Medicine is the formulation which is prepared with the help of active moiety or the drug. Now, in a drug, it is a single chemical moiety which is used for a particular therapeutic effect. But the medicine is drug along with the excipient. There is a complete preparation of the formulation, and after that, this is used for a therapeutic effect. For example, any tablet, any syrup, okay, that comes under the medicine. Okay, and drug means the active moiety like a phenytoin, like barbiturates, any barbiturates or any as a drug. So this is the difference between the drug and the medicine. Now move towards the next point, that is the history and historical landmarks of the pharmacology. Now first scientist, that is Rudolf Buchan. This is the scientist who firstly discovered the drug research. Okay, he found that, or he discovered that the any research in a human is done with the pharmacologist only. Okay, so the investigation of the drug is a task of the pharmacology. He invented. Now, and firstly, the laboratory research or laboratory development of the drug takes place with the help of this scientist. Next scientist is uh, Oswald Schemberg. So this Oswald Schemberg scientist is called as a father of modern pharmacology, and he invented the first journal of the pharmacology. Now in the next slide, we are going to see some important historical landmarks of the pharmacology. Now, in a historical landmass means what? Ki any important investigation which have done in the pharmacology, in that first most important investigation or discovery, we all know that is Alexander Fleming. Alexander Fleming is a scientist who discovered the penicillin in 1928. When he observed that a mold was developed accidentally on the staphylococcus culture plate and had created a bacteria free zones. Okay, now so the Alexander Fleming is responsible for the discovery of the penicillin. Now the next scientist is Selman Walkman. Selman Walkman is a scientist who discovered an antibiotic in 1943. He was also responsible for the isolation of other antibiotics such as actinomycin, tavicine, streptomycin, neomycin, candida species antibiotic. Okay, two of these are streptomycin and the neomycin. Okay, so streptomycin and the neomycin, these are used in a clinical use. Okay, so these streptomycin and the neomycin is discovered by the scientist Selman Walkmans. Next scientist is Sir James Black. Sir James Black has discovered the beta blocker. Okay, beta blocker, which is a adrenergic receptor blocker. Okay, next next is Gerhard Dom Domang. Okay, Domang. He discovered the use of protonsil against the streptococcal infection and later develops the sulfonamides microbial diseases. Okay, so he discovered the sulfonamides drugs which can against the bacterial infection. Now the next is we had seen previously the Oswald scientist. He is also called as a father of modern pharmacology. He studied the estimation of chloroform in a blood, hypnostic effect of the urea derivative, paraaldehyde, and the primary action of digitalis on the heart muscle. So this is a very important action, that is the action of the digitalis on the heart muscle. He also found out the effect of nicotine on the cardiac vagal ganglia, central peripheral action of the caffeine, and the toxic action of the heavy metals. Okay, so these many activities are get discovered by the Oswald, hence he is called as a father of the modern pharmacology. So this question was asked as a MCQ in a previous question paper, like which of the following is called as a founder or a father of the modern pharmacology. So the Oswald is called as a modern father of or the founder of modern pharmacology. Next scientist is John Jacob. He isolated the epinephrine from the adrenal gland extract. Also, he isolated the histamine. Also, he isolated scientist John Jacob. He isolated the epinephrine from the adrenal gland extract, isolation of histamine from the pituitary extract, and preparation of the pure crystalline insulin is done with the George Jacob. Means the pure insulin in pure crystallized form is done or get formed by the John Jacob. Next scientist is Thomas Richard Fraser. He isolated the active principle of color barbeine, that is physostigmine. Physostigmine is isolated by the Thomas Richard Frasers. Okay, next scientist is Johns Newport Langley. He postulated the receptive substance on the nervous stimulation, the basis for the transmission through the neurotransreceptors. So the neurotransmission with the help of neuronal transreceptor is done of postulate of Newport Langley. Next scientist is Levy. O2 Levy showed the cardiac inhibition was due to the discharge of acetylcholine upon the target effector cell in the heart. Okay, so this is the cardiac inhibition. It is due to discharge of acetylcholine upon the target effector cell in the heart. Okay, so acetylcholine, it is the depressing drug which decrease the heart rate and decrease the force of contraction. That's why there is a inhibition, cardiac inhibition. Okay, and the last scientist is a Paul Enrich. Paul Enrich, he is called father of chemotherapy, and he used the arsenical in the treatment of syphilis. He also done some experiment work on the tumors. That's why he is called as a, he done the some experiment with the tumors. That's why he is called as a father of chemotherapy. Okay, so Paul Ilrich is called as a father of chemotherapy. Okay, so MCQ is also asked on this also, that is the father of chemotherapy is. So he is a Paul Ilrich, and the founder of Pharmacology is a Oswald. Okay, so when the question is asked on the, what are the landmarks, historical landmarks in a, so you have to mention this table. Okay, so in this you have to mention about 9 to 10 scientists and their work. Okay, now the next point is scope of the pharmacology. Now the pharmacology, the scope of the pharmacology is, now the next point is scope of the pharmacology. Okay, so the next point is the scope of the pharmacology. Now the pharmacology is widely distributed in the three main domain. First domain is the research, third one is the second one is the, sorry, second one is the industry, third one is the academics. Now first we'll see the research. Now there are certain stages of the drug development. Means when the drug drug comes into the market, there are the drug have to pass through the certain stages of the drug development. In that, first is a drug discovery phase. In the drug discovery phase, actually there is a discovery of the drug, means finding of the drug with the help of different screening methods. Next is the preclinical study of that discovered drug. Okay, means once the molecule is get found out, then there is a preclinical study, a preclinical phase or a preclinical study is there, which is also called as an animal study. Then next is a clinical trial phase, means the actual human study, means the drug is tested on the humans in the third phase. Now first, now we'll see the one by one. First is a drug discovery phase. In the drug discovery phase, the drug is discovered with the help of these many methods. First is a random screening. Randomly drugs are get screened, and the one or a more moiety is get selected with the help of this screening. Next is a serendipity. So this preclinical study is done to check the whether the compound is a safe or a fit to use in a human or not. Now this preclinical study required 1.5 to 2 years of the period, and during this study the study is done on the animal, and out of 10,000 of the compound, only 10 are get qualified with the preclinical evaluation. Now this deals with the effect of various pharmacological agent on the different animal species. Okay, so with the help of preclinical study, the various pharmacological effects are seen on the various species of the animals. And the aim of this preclinical study is to find out the therapeutic agent suitable for the human use, therapeutic to find out the therapeutic agent. which is suitable for the human use, then to check the toxicity of the drug, and the study of mechanism and the site of action of the drug. Study of mechanism and the site of the drug. Next, this preclinical study either is done in vitro means on the isolated tissue. The for example, the enzyme inhibitor, cytokine inactivity, receptor characterization, these types of the study are done on the particular organ or the tissue. So particular organ or the tissue are get isolated from the animal, and these are done in a laboratory. So this type of study is called as an in vitro study. Then in vivo study means these experiments are done on the intact animal, means the drug is injected to the animal, and the whole it goes through whole process, that is a absorption, distribution, metabolism of that animal, and the drug effect is shown by the animal. So when study is done on the intact animal, then it is called as a in vivo study. Then next phase or a last phase of the research is a clinical trial phase. In the clinical trial phase, main three phases are there. In that first phase is in the first phase, which is called as a, so this is the schematic presentation. In a first phase, the healthy volunteers open label study means all the drug is known by the patient doctor. Okay, and this phase 1 study, it determines safe dose, pharmacokinetics, and any predictory toxicity. Okay, so mainly safety is studied in the phase 1 study. Then the phase 2 study, here the patient with the targeted diseases are used, and determine the efficacy and the definitive endpoint. Okay, efficacy and the safety. So in the phase 2, safety as well as efficacy are get checked. And in a phase third, about 1000 to 5000 plus subjects or humans are used, and this is called as a large scale multi-centered double blind study. Large scale multi-center means this type of the study are carried out in a different centers, that's why it is called as a multi-centered. And double blind means the drug is unknown to everyone, and this is done to further establishment of safety and the efficacy. So safety and the efficacy, these are two main parameters which are checked in a human study. After the phase 3 trial, for this phase 3 trial, it take about 5 to 6 years of time, and after the phase 3 trials, there is a application for the new drug application, okay, for the approval. Once the new drug application is get accepted, then the phase 4 study is done. Phase 4 study is also called as a post licensing phase, and here phase duration, and with this the study is done in a huge population, and the adverse drug event or any other effect of the drug is get checked, and which are get submitted with the help of periodic safety update report. Okay, now the any reaction or the any change due to the drug is get recorded, and that record is called as a periodic safety update report, and it is to be submitted to the authority. Okay, so all this comes to the research, and this type of research study is done in a pharmacology. So this is about the research scope of the pharmacology. In the academic for the undergraduate student, there is a education regarding to the introduction to the drug. What is the drug, what is its action, mechanism of action is get teach or described in academics. Then prescription writing means ki choosing of the drug which should be given with which combination is comes under the prescription writing. Then pharmaceutical preparations, different pharmaceutical preparation or different pharmacological dose, pharmaceutical tablet, capsule, all that is come under the pharmaceutical preparation. And the last one is the identification of adverse drug reaction. Okay, so any noxious or any unwanted effect which is unknown and which is found accidentally, that is called as adverse drug reaction. Okay, so such a reaction is get monitored during the phase 4 study. So in the academic, it consists of introduction to drug mechanism of action, prescription writing, pharmaceutical preparation, and identification of adverse drug reaction. Okay, so this is about the scope in case of academics and in case of a research. In case of a industry, certain in case of a industry, certain R&D departments are there where the preclinical and the clinical studies are get done with the help of studies are get done with the help of pharmacological principle. As well, there is a certain pharmacovigilance branches are there, or pharmacovigilance industries are there which look after the adverse drug reaction of the already marketed drugs. So in case of an industry, there is a monitoring of adverse drug reaction, there is a drug development, drug discovery comes under the okay. So in this topic, in this whole topic, the two main important questions are there which are asked for the 5 mark. First question is write a note on historical landmark. In the historical landmark for the 5 marks, just you have to draw the table which I have given to you. And the second question is write a note on scope of the pharmacology. In the scope of pharmacology, you have to mention the research, okay, and in case of academics and in case of industry. So here we finish with the 2 questions which are important as far as your exam concerned. Thank you.